I guess tell me about your room. What do you like about the tight ends this year?
I only lost one guy in the tight end room with Gavin Yates, which was a big part of the puzzle that we saw last year. But kind of the returners and them kind of taking some steps forward and kind of taking a leadership role in that aspect since Gavin being gone.
Who has stepped up and into that leadership role?
I would say Matt Klopfenstein has stepped up in that role and taken another level. Trig had practiced one day and had a slight injury, and then we kind of precautionary measures kind of held him out for the rest of spring.
You think he would be healthy by the end of spring? Or
Yes, I mean it's in that deal of well, bring him back with 2 or 3 practices left if we had to do that.
Yeah. What have you seen from these two guys?
I think just not worrying about if something bad happens, playing the next play from that standpoint.
You got another guy in there, Kelsey Johnson, right? How is he doing? What's his status?
He's rehabbing basically from an injury he had suffered early in the season, so we decided to have surgery this last right after the season. Decided kind of try to quick fix. I think it's something that had happened for probably back 2 years ago, kind of been bugging him. So it's just like it's time to kind of get that surgery, move on, and get him to a healing process where he can play at full strength.
Do you think he could help you? Obviously, if he's back,
if he's at full strength, has ability to help the room.
I guess what does it? Gavin Yates was such a leader. What does it take to replace someone like him?
I think guys already learn from that, and just I think it was kind of Gavin learned before, but at the same time, they've already learned, and kind of my coaching style of getting here just last year, and then learning from Gavin, and Gavin was having to learn the offense, and from that standpoint, I think it's trickled up, so it's not been a downside from that standpoint, so it's just kind of escalated. It's them. I tell them it's about you being the best you can be every day, and trying to take a step forward.
He had also been kind of a Swiss Army knife where you could put him anywhere. Is there a guy like that, or are you grooming anybody to take that spot over?
Well, I'm not grooming a guy to have a metal jacket on his arm and the other arm, and so I'm hoping I can keep all that body armor off of him. And I think all the guys that we kind of have now have the combination to do all the things, whether it's route running, whether it's in the backfield blocking, whether it's kind of on the perimeter blocking. I think they all have the ability to do that.
Year 2 for you at Baylor and in this offense, do you feel more comfortable? And how do you think the tight ends, if anything, are fit into this offense more so this year, if that makes any sense?
I think they're not hesitant to make a mistake. It's like I tell them, I said, I want you to take it full speed when we're in practice, and if you make the mistake, at least we can correct it, and you know what you can work from. And I said, sometimes you're scared to try this technique when you get in a game, and if you do it in practice, somebody's jumping your tail saying, what the heck are you doing? And it's like I tell them, I said, if you don't try, I'm jumping your tail for not trying.
You're in your second year, but also Travel's in his second year. What's kind of that relationship like between you two?
Well, it feels like I probably have a better relationship than my wife sometimes. I think I'm in the room longer with Spav than I am with my wife. It's good. And I knew the offensive structure that it was before, and kind of being in that system, and now we can kind of expand some of the things because our kids know the system, and now you can kind of add little bits and pieces to kind of work with those guys.
You kind of touched on it, talking about the expansion of the offense. What are some things last year that you thought the tight ends did great? What are you hoping for this year they can expand on specifically?
Probably hesitation more than anything, and not sure am I making the right decision or not. And I think now that they see what I'm seeing, so it makes it easier for them to kind of play that. And as I tell them, I said, you're trying to play you got to go play the game. It's just you 11 out there. So, but I want you to see what I'm seeing when we get on the film or we get on the field. So when you're going and running that you don't have any doubt that you run it at 80%, and you start playing it at 100%.
What Michael did last year, even some of the other guys, is this offense pretty attractive for recruits? Are you finding that in recruiting?
It is. I think they're seeing that right now. I think kids see that, hey, they run this, they run that. It's not just a bootleg or a drag or things like that. That it's, hey, he's running vertical down the field. He's running a hitch. He's running a corner. They go into all aspects of the route tree. They're not just diving into one aspect. And in the run game, I tell them, I said, this is the same run game that you're going to see at the next level. You're going to see at the next level, whether it's the inside zone, outside zone counter, all the different aspects that we have.
And it seems like in some systems it's nothing more than a glorified blocker, but these guys, they've seen that they're going to be in that.
There's times that they say that they think they're. We got in the TCU game and we ran the same play probably 7 times. I think they felt that like they were good, but you know what? I said they see the momentum build and they see. I think that's where they all buy in together, and they understand is like if something's really is working correct. I mean, at that good or that great at the moment that you keep after it, and it may be the next series you may score a touchdown, and now you bounce and it allows you to do different things off that.
You might have said at Kelsey, his surgery. Is there a timetable for his return?
I think first of summer.
First of
First of summer is what we're hoping. Yes.
Okay. And then for Matthew, you mentioned him having to take a step. What can he do? What do you expect out of him this season?
It'll be up to him to keep progressing and he'll get to answer some of those questions.
Sure.
It's like I tell him, I said, you have to define your story. I said, every day that you have a story to tell and you're going to go from this standpoint of building your storyline, I said, are you in paragraph 2 or paragraph 3? Or I said, if you're at the conclusion, you got a problem. I said, that's the best you can get right now. But right now he's elevated from being new kind of this offense to elevating to, it's kind of one of those things that the sky's the limit for him.
I can't remember from signing class. Do you have anybody else coming in, or
Yes, I have one other young man coming in the summertime.
what's his name?
Brody Wilhelm from Westlake. He was more of he played really outside receiver for him last year. He was a big tight end playing receiver last year.
I guess what's it been like in this second year with coach and just kind of learning everything, kind of picking up stuff?
I think it's just getting more comfortable. Everything kind of becoming more second nature. We're not having to stop and think through things as much. It's just, seeing the signal, seeing the look, and being able to go. And I think we've all kind of felt that this spring, because I know it's me and Matt's first year really having the same offense going into spring ball as the previous year. So I think that's huge for us to be able to just develop in the offense and have things that are more second nature to us.
I mean, do you like this offense? Like, does it fit kind of what you want to do and what you think you're good at?
Yeah, definitely. I love this offense. It's a lot of fun to play in. We have tons of fun. I mean, we get to do a little bit of everything, which I think is great from a player development standpoint, and also for the offense. We get to help the offense in every way. We're blocking, run blocking, pass blocking, getting down the field, stretching the field horizontally, and it's a lot of fun to do.
You guys getting worn down at all? I mean, there's not a whole lot of bodies out there.
No, there hasn't been a whole lot of bodies this spring, but I think and there's definitely an upside to it. We're getting a lot of reps, and we're getting a lot better. We're getting able to watch the film of all these reps. I think ultimately it's been a good thing. It's been a physical and a mental test for the three of us going through it right now, and it's just made us a whole lot better.
You kind of touched on it, second year of the same offense. Do you kind of feel that the tight end role is being more expanded this year?
Yeah, I think definitely, and I think that we've shown that we're able to take on that expansion, and that Spav is able to trust our room, and Anderson's able to trust our room with what we're able to do on the field and how we're able to help the team. And I think having that second year is really big, just being comfortable with everything.
Gavin Yates was such a voice and a leader on this team. How do you fill in that gap? Do you feel any responsibility to kind of step up and be a vocal guy?
I think our whole room kind of feels it. There's an empty part of the table. We all love Gav, and he was definitely a big vocal leader in our tight end room and on the team. I think me, Klopfenstein, and Cody do feel that, and that we're doing our best, but we're still not going to go outside of our personality, outside of what we feel comfortable with. But we've acknowledged and we know that Gav's not here anymore, but we're ready to take on that role that he leaves.
I guess, how do you feel? I mean, year 2 in this offense, year 2 with Coach Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel more comfortable this year than you have at all?
Definitely, for sure. I think, after finishing the season we did and kind of building off what we have, the momentum and stuff like that, especially with the room. The room last year had such success, with Trig and Gavin and everyone. It was definitely a point where okay, this is something we can build from. Obviously it sucks not having Gavin, such a good vocal leader and a great player, and but it's only allowed us to be able to step up and stuff like that. So for sure, it's it gives us confidence knowing that we can build off what we did last year, type thing.
You feel like the tight ends are going to be used a lot this year, or is that kind of the sense you're getting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think I believe it was like within the first week of football school before spring ball, coach like said that we had like 95% of our install already in, and so he was just trying new things and stuff like that, and so just getting us into positions that we haven't seen before really, and kind of new things, looking at different things as far as run blocking and pass blocking and running routes and stuff, and so it's been really good. It's been kind of fun to kind of experiment with SPAV and stuff, and so yeah, I'm really excited. I really am. It's been awesome.
A guy like Michael Trigg, who showed a lot of flashes last year. What is it like playing with him, and what does he specifically bring to the room that maybe motivates all of you?
He's a character, that's for sure. He's pretty funny. He's a dude that you want to be friends with because he's just, he's always got a smile on his face. He really does, and he's a great player, and he's the type of guy you want to rally behind because he's always gonna have your back. And so, like, if you make it a play, he's the first one cheering, he's the first one flexing or running off the field, And so I think he's definitely going to be, as far as, like, the leadership and, like, a momentum carrier, he's a very good, like, he's a great teammate. He really is. So.
With Gavin gone, is it more of a committee thing, or, is it one guy taking over?
Yeah, leadership-wise, I would say, it's hard losing Gavin. Gavin was someone, he got really good towards the end of the season, started blocking very well. And so I think when you lose someone like Gavin, there's obviously spots to be filled, obviously. And so me, Hawk, and Cody, we've kind of just been filling in any way we can. I'd say we definitely, like, fed off each other. We're missing Gavin, so it's like one of those things where Gavin was usually the person that was telling us, hey, like, your footwork or this or that. And so we're just all three kind of helping each other in that sense, if that makes sense. And Trigg's involved too, and so we're kind of just all helping each other at this point, knowing we got to take the next step. All of us do, and so for sure.
You mentioned kind of feeling how you ended last season. Do you feel any pressure? I guess not just you, but the team overall. Do you sense how you finished last season carrying into this year?
Yeah, I wouldn't say if we feel any pressure. I just think there's expectations. I don't think it's pressure though at all. I think Coach Aranda does a great job of saying that last year's team is last year's team. It's a new start, flipping the page, new chapter, and so I think what we got is a really good team, and what we got is what's ahead, and so I'm really excited for what this team's capable of. We're gonna be really good. I can tell you that. And so yeah, I'm just really excited. I wouldn't say that there's really hardly any pressure, but I think from a room standpoint, there's a lot to build off of for sure. And so, yeah.
Have you seen Sawyer take a step even this spring? He was pretty good.
Yeah, no, yeah, sorry, yeah. That dude Sawyer, he's pretty good. Yeah, just okay. Yeah, for sure. I think just in his I think he's advanced his game in a way that's like the little things, such as checks here and there, and plus he's turned into such a vocal leader. People are able to rally behind him because he's such a good dude. That dude's such a good dude. He's always got a smile on his face, and he's always encouraging. And so I think he's taken a step up in his leadership, his vocal leadership, and I think people know that he can do it. And so it's just like, let's get on this guy's back and let's run. You know what I'm saying? So, for sure.